People say in a one-on-one fight, always bet on Kaido. Land, sea, and air, out of every living thing in this world, this pirate is said to be the strongest creature alive. That is the magnitude of power we are talking about when it comes to Yonko Kaido. Keep in mind, Kaido was captured and tortured many times over by people that you can say are his peers. The Yonko, as well as the Navy, which probably includes admirals as well, captured and tortured by these individuals, and they could not kill Kaido. Kaido's lore is stupendous, and when we see him in action in Wano Kuni, in his full-on dragon form, devastating destructive power. When you look at his base form, enough speed to speed blitz a Gear 4 bound man Luffy, and enough raw physical strength to one-shot bound man Luffy in one attack, the Thunder Bagua. And then finally, seeing Kaido in both dragon form and in base form take the attacks of a Gear 3 Elephant Gatling Luffy, the same attack which Luffy used over a period of time to destroy the Noah Ark, half of the Noah Ark, which is the size of half an island, a fairly large island at that, which needed several Sea Kings to carry it. And then the Kong organ, which you can say, arguably say, is his strongest Gatling attack, considering how it is his Gear 4 Gatling attack. And Kaido, after taking all of that damage, quote unquote damage, he got up, he sighed, and delivered maximum devastation to our boy Monkey D. Luffy. That is Yonko Kaido. But once again, people say, and who these people are we don't know, but people say in a one-on-one fight, you always bet on Kaido. And right now, it is not looking like things are going to be one-on-one. So when you go through the list of bad guys, you go through the list of good guys for Wano Kuni, and then you take into consideration outside parties and those who are shaky, meaning those that are currently bad guys but may join the good guys I said later on, it's looking like Kaido's going to deal with more than just Luffy in a fight. It looks like Kaido has to deal with a lot of people. A lot of people. Kaido versus everybody. So let's go through it. Let's go through this list. Look at the bad guy side. You have Kaido, King and Queen. You have Jack, of course. You have Orochi. And you have Orochi's Onibawashu, the 11 fighters that they consist of. And then finally you have the Flying Six minus Drake. Now I'm minusing Drake for an obvious reason. And the Flying Six, that title, according to the translations, it doesn't necessarily mean it consists of 6 people. It's just the general title of this group. So it could be more than 6, it could be less than 6. But the Flying Six nonetheless. And then you have some headliners that are okay, but the headliners are from okay at best to just god-awful. Like the Hippo guy that we saw in the Prisoner Mines. Absolutely atrocious. So the headliners, you have okay at best combatants here and there. But compared to the good guy side, wow, there's a lot of forces there. So, on the good guy side, of course, you have Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, you have Kid and Killer. Killer right now is in an awkward state, mentally and physically, but right now at this point in time, it's safe to say that Killer, he's on board, he's on deck. All they gotta do is escape, and then things will flow from there. Of course, you have Trafalgar D, Waterlaw. You have Frankie, who is developing weapons against Kaido. And then, of course, you have other members of the Straw Hats, like Brook, like Robin, like Chopper. Straw Hats that you can say aren't that powerful compared to, let's say, the other Straw Hats. Now, granted, who you think is the next strongest, let's say, compared to the Monster Trio is up to you. Some folks say Frankie, some folks say Brooke, some folks say Robin. It's up to you. But nonetheless, the Straw Hats are in play, obviously. Then you have the 9 Red Scabbards of Odette, and which of course consists of 9 fighters. You have Okiku, you have Kinemon, you have Raizo, and the list goes on. Then you have Hyogoro, who, yes, is an old man, but Hyogoro does know quote-unquote advanced armored haki or deflection armored haki. So he does have a fair degree of skill despite his age. And there are 4 other Yakuza bosses in the Prisoner Mine that may also have some degree of skill as well. If we're talking about these guys versus Kaido, like clearly not, but other opponents like headliners or gifters, whatever. Then you have the Mink Tribe. The Mink Tribe is a fairly large force. And some of these guys are no joke. Excluding Ito Arashi and Nekomamushi, who of course are a part of the Red Scabbards, you have guys like Sicilian, you have guys like Blackback, and you have, Rudy and those guys. Rudy and Luffy were going at each other, like literally headbutting each other for a period of time. Like, they're not jokes. And of course, Kaido's among them as well. And keep in mind, depending on when they're gonna be fighting, like what time of day, if it's nighttime and the full moon is out, some of these mink are going to go Sulong. Sicilian. Carrot was a devastating Sulong. Sicilian, who you can say is better than Carrot combat ability-wise, as well as Rudy or Blackback. These guys can potentially go Sulong form. My goodness. That is a tremendous fighting force right there. And now we go on to the folks that are kind of shaky. Hawkins, Drake, Apu. These 3, since they were subdued by Kaido, when he fell, are automatically shaky. We haven't seen Apu yet, but Hawkins, we're not too sure why he's so gung-ho, but he's very gung-ho. And Drake has had history with Kaido for a period of time now. He hopped into the new world targeting Kaido specifically, off the gate. But to say that Hawkins and Apu and Drake are completely on Kaido's side, knowing what we know about these characters, I think it's foolhardy. I think it is clear that these 3 Supernova are shaky when it comes to their loyalty with Kaido and the Beast Pirates. If something happens, whether it's their crew, whether they find out some information, they could flip on a dime and they can join Straw Hat Luffy and the good guy team on a dime. Furthermore, there's Kyoshiro. Kyoshiro, right now, is gung-ho. When he's fighting against Zoro, he's not pulling any punches as far as you can tell. But because of Hiri/Kumurasaki, and the fact that Hiri is alive, even though we saw Kyoshiro cut down Kumurasaki, maybe it was a body double, maybe it was something of that sort, who knows? We're not too sure. But there are a lot of things about Kyoshiro that make you wonder if he's really loyal to Orochi. He may be just loyal to the shogunate, whoever is the shogun. He's loyal to the government, he's a government dog. But if that whole thing is at risk, let's say Kaido threatens the whole system, Kyoshiro may just hop in there and just say, no, hell no, I'm not having that. Because even though I don't like Orochi, the government of Wano Kuni must be maintained for X, Y, and Z reason, and in order to try and maintain stability of Wano Kuni, Kyoshiro joins the good guy side. So there's a host of reasons as to why Kyoshiro could flake. But Kyoshiro can definitely flake. Absolutely. There's also X factors like Marco and Jinbei. Now, Jinbei, we don't know what happened. We have no idea, which is why I'm not going to include the Fishman Pirates as a whole, because they were on the precipice of being wiped out, considering how they were fighting against the Big Mom Pirates and then Big Mom was inbound. But Big Mom didn't mention Jinbei or anything of the sort when she read the paper about Luffy being the quote-unquote 5th Yonko. And then on top of that, didn't mention anything about Jinbei at all when she was talking to Kaido on the Den Den Mushi. You have to wonder, is Jinbei really going to be a factor in Wano Kuni? Luffy said to Jinbei, we're waiting for you in Wano Kuni. So Jinbei, you would think, is en route, but he's still shaky. It's not a guarantee when it comes to Jinbei. It's really not. And then finally, you have Marco. If Marco arrives, automatic commander versus commander fight. Probably King, which would be really, really cool to see. It'll remind me of Gonfall and Shura in Skypiea. Just seeing 2 aerial combatants go one-on-one across the skies of Wano Kuni, that'd be phenomenal. But if Marco arrives, that's clearly a tremendous force for the good guy side. He's on deck. But right now, he's not coming as far as you know right now. But that could easily change. And then finally, there are third parties. Mainly, the third parties come in the form of the Marines/Cypher Pole and the Big Mom Pirates. And of course, Big Mom herself included. Big Mom is causing chaos in the prisoner mines right now with Queen. Now, I'm not going to say that Queen is taken out completely, But the fact of the matter is that Big Mom is there for Luffy, but has no problems fighting Kaido and his men. When Big Mom was about to arrive, to touch down, Kaido was afraid because he didn't want to have all-out war with the Big Mom pirates. And Big Mom was coming in hot. Think of like a Dynasty Warriors game, where Luffy and company, they're in blue, they're the good guys. The Beast Pirates, the Samurai, they're in red, they're the bad guys, they're the enemy. And then the Big Mom Pirates are in yellow. They're a third party, enemies to both the Beast Pirates and the good guys. So in the future of Wano Kuni, it could wind up being three-way fights of Smoothie, King, and then somebody else. So like, let's say Law, Smoothie, King. I don't know. It could be something of that sort where we have genuine three-way fights going down in Wano Kuni, because the Big Mom Pirates are an opposing force to both the Beast Pirates and the good guy side. And then finally, of course, another factor, let's say we put them in green, another opposing force would be the Marines, because the Marines may be arriving there because Vegapunk may be coming to Wano Kuni. Now this is a stretch, but I think it may happen here. To be on the good graces of Orochi, they may give Orochi a taste of Vegapunk, but knowing Orochi, knowing Kaido, how crazy they are, things may go awry. And if things go awry, at the bare minimum, Cypher Pole is on deck, and they're another fighting force that is completely independent from the Beast Pirates, from the good guy side, Luffy and company, from the Big Mom Pirates. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy when you think about that. When we take all this into consideration, how can we dwindle down the Beast Pirates? Who is going to probably be taking on Kaido when it comes to a fight? Because again, one-on-one, you bet on Kaido. So, King. If Marco arrives, King's taken care of. But it could be the case where he has to maintain watch over the Big Mom Pirates, because the Big Mom Pirates, if they see that King is no longer in the skies around the waterfall area, they're going to make an attempt to get back because they want to get their captain, they want to get their mama. That in of itself may keep King out of the conflict for at least an extended amount of time. Queen right now is in trouble because, Olin, she ain't pulling no punches. But is Queen going to be down for the entirety of the arc? Probably not. He's going to be injured after this whole exchange. He'll recover because he's a Zoan. Zoans can recover fairly quickly, and he's an ancient Zoan at that, so you would figure that his recovery time is even greater than that of most other Zoans. So, Queen will probably recover from his wounds and fight against other folks. I would say maybe a Sanji plus somebody else. Just how with King, there could be a Zoro and Killer against King or something of that sort. Jack. I think it's fairly obvious. The Mink have been waiting for their chance to take down Jack, to show Jack the true power of the Mink Tribe. Inuarashi, Nekomamushi, separately, they could not subdue Jack the Drought. Guarantee you in this arc, together, Inuarashi and Nekomamushi, they will combine and they will tag team to take down Jack the Drought. I think that's as clear as day. Orochi's owned by Washu, his ninja, Mink or Straw Hats or some of the Scabbards, it's easy. They don't appear to be that powerful at all. If you have a Sicilian Sulong, he'll take care of 5 of them, minimum. Raijin was cut significantly by Zoro while Zoro was passing by just to get to Hiri. The Onwashu, I don't think that they're a big deal at all. With the sole exception of the leader of the group, Fukurokushu. He may actually be powerful, but I can see him and Raizo having some kind of crazy Hokage duel at some point later on the arc. The Flying Six, if there are several guys like Page 1, they're gonna be fairly good combatants. So maybe some Scabbards, maybe against Sulong Mink, it depends. But they can be taken care of as well. Let's say Flying Six against Frankie, Brooke, and Robin. Really hope she gets to fight in this arc. Kaido himself has to take on multiple people at the bare minimum. 3 people at the bare minimum. Luffy, Kid, Law. At the bare minimum, he is taking on those 3. I don't think Hawkins is this gung-ho without reason. I think Hawkins will definitely flake. Drake has history, big history, with Kaido. And mind you, there is also the chance of Moria and Blackbeard, but no, so shaky, I can't even hold it. So we're gonna put it off the list for now. But here's the thing. Drake has apparently history with Kaido. He targeted Kaido from the jump. Drake is probably in. I don't see why Zoro and Sanji couldn't be in. But mind you, that is based on the notion that both Drake and Kyoshiro will flake. I think that Drake has a better chance of flaking than Kyoshiro, but again, they could both flake and defect over to the good side. And considering how Apu also got throttled by Kaido as well, he probably wants revenge too. So again, minimum, Luffy, Law, Kid. Maybe you can say just Luffy and Kid. Maybe you can just say those two against Kaido and make that the minimum. But ain't no one-on-one. And I would say right now, when it comes to significant opponents against Kaido, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Kid, throw in Killer. Throw in, because why not? Just throw in Killer. Law, Kyoshiro, Hawkins, Drake, Apu. That's 10 dudes against Kaido. And I forgot to mention as well, Kinema and Ashura Doji, considering their past with Kaido and Oden and so on and Orochi, yeah, they definitely want revenge as well. And Ashura Doji, he's been there for 20 years. So prime candidates when it comes to being a part of that group as well. But mix and match, maybe you throw out Zoro and Sanji, you put in Ashura Doji and Kinemon, maybe Hawkins can't hop in the fray, boom, you have Kyoshiro instead. Maybe for whatever reason Apu's not in, boom, you have Kinemon, maybe even Kanjiro. But Kanjiro, I'm not too sure on Kanjiro. I think mainly among the scabbards, the best bet for hopping in on Kaido, the two best bets would be Kinemon and Ashura Doji among the group to take down Kaido. I would say that someone like Kawamatsu is going to be more prone to, let's say, protecting Hiyori rather than fighting Kaido. Because that's what he was doing for years, because him and Hiyori, they didn't get sent to the future by Lady Toki. So I wouldn't put him in that group either. So Killer may go over after Orochi, but that of course may change depending on what happens during the arc. Law right now is pretty heated, considering what's going on with his crew. And Law from the very beginning of Punk Hazard was saying he was going to target Kaido. Yes, in truth, it was to really get Dofi, but he's on board. He's on board for Kaido's head. So Law not being there against Kaido would be kind of odd. And I would argue Law has to be there too in order to defeat Kaido, if Kaido's going to defeat this arc. But that's a whole nother video. And I am fully aware that when it comes to defeating Kaido, it could be a one-on-one situation with Luffy and Kaido, because just because the lore says it doesn't mean that our plot armor drenched main character, Monkey D. Luffy, can't get the job done one-on-one. But man, a one-on-one Luffy and Kaido, even though he's learning new haki now, again, he's at the mercy of the Admirals and the Yonko. They couldn't kill him. So he learns new haki, and yeah, he may apply it in a unique way, but actually taking down Yonko Kaido, when he was at the mercy of probably guys like Big Mom or Whitebeard, come on, that's insanity. That's insanity. And I am aware also of, potentially Mori coming in there and giving Luffy a crazy power-up of Nightmare Bowman Luffy times 500, and then you have, Hawkins' tarot cards, but at that point in time, one-on-one, quote-unquote one-on-one, yeah, definitely not. So here's how it stands. At this point in the story of Wano Kuni, one-on-one, you bet on Kaido. So how do you beat Kaido? You don't fight him one-on-one.